Day 18. Today's reading is from the book Esther, chapter 4, verse 10 to 16. Esther said, "All the king's officials and even the people in the provinces know that anyone who appears before the king in his inner court without being invited is doomed to die unless the king holds out his gold scepter. And the king has not called for me to come to him for 30 days. Mordecai sent this reply to Esther. Don't think for a moment that because you're in the palace, you will escape when all other Jews are killed. If you keep quiet at a time like this, deliverance and relief for the Jews will arise from some other place, but you and your relatives will die. Who knows if perhaps you were made queen for just such a time as this?" Then Esther sent this reply to Mordecai. "Go and gather together all the Jews of Susa and fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. My maids and I will do the same. And then, though it is against the law, I will go in to see the king. If I must die, I must die." Little Esther was an orphan. She had no father to hold her and no mother to help her. But she had an uncle Mordecai to love her, and so love grew her up to be lovely. Love is always what makes things lovely. Now King Xerxes was searching high and low throughout the entire kingdom, gathering up all the girls to see which one might be his new queen, when someone nudged lovely Esther forward. For months, she waited with the other girls, waited for the king to call her name. For months, Esther combed her long hair and rubbed oil into her smooth skin. But no one could see what made Esther's heart really beautiful. She really listened to people with her ears. She really looked into people with her eyes. What makes you beautiful is not how your face looks, but how your heart loves. When King Xerxes finally called Esther's name from his list, he looked up and saw this girl who shone. When King Xerxes placed the crown on beautiful Esther's head and whispered, "Queen," he looked like he might burst into happy fireworks. But one of the king's officers, Haman, hated Esther's uncle Mordecai. Haman's heart burned with such a hot anger that his mind scorched and smoked with a horrific idea, a law that would kill all God's children, just so he could get rid of Uncle Mordecai. But here's what neither Haman nor King Xerxes knew. Queen Esther was one of God's children too. After Uncle Mordecai heard the new law, he stood outside the palace gate and tore his clothes in half because his heart was breaking in two. He sent a message to Esther. Really look into the eyes of God's children outside the palace gate. Really listen to the cries of God's children outside the gate. You, Esther, are the only one who can go to the king and help save us. This is the moment you were made for, to use your gifts to give others the gift of life. It comes like a whisper from those outside the gate. Use the life you've been given to give others life. Esther took a long, deep breath. If she went to see King Xerxes without his asking to see her, he could decide to have her killed. But Esther imagined what it must feel like for God's children outside the gate. She could feel her beautiful heart thrumming it loud. Use the life you've been given to give others life. So Esther decided, yes, She would be like a bridge from God's children to the King. When love for others makes your heart beautiful, it makes your hands brave. This is what Esther whispered. I will go, and if I die, I die. Then there's Jesus, the Sun King, whose home was the original palace. Jesus, who has the most beautiful heart in all the universe. Jesus thought of you when you were outside the gate, bruised and beaten up by sin, and his love for you was instant. He had to leave heaven. He had to risk everything to save you, to free you, to heal you. Like brave Queen Esther, Jesus made himself a bridge back to the King. Jesus risked everything. So I die. And he saved us. When you unwrap the unbeatable, unfailing, unstoppable love of Jesus, you laugh happiest. You are free to happily give away your gifts so other people can live. Right now, there's a boy digging for food in a garbage heap in India. Right now, a little girl is crying for food in Uganda. Right now, a child in Afghanistan goes to sleep having never heard the name of Jesus. This is the moment you were made for, to use your gifts to give others the gift of life. There could be unwrapping everywhere around the world. There's your heart, brave and beautiful and changing the world, giving love to the world, making the world dance with life and light and love.